Well, I have talked to several people, because I wanted, since I represent, I wanted to ask lots of people. Most people I talked to are not in favor of this. There has been one, of all the people I've talked to, well, maybe 10. 1 out of 10 has been for it. The others have not.
It'll be the crowd you run with, because I have not met a negative.
Well, see, of course, I don't run with a lot, but I ask I didn't ask just people that are,
No, I understand
don't
that.
drink like me. I mean, I do have sometimes. Oh, shoot, I just said that all right. But anyway,
I understand.
Okay.
I understand. We don't want to see the festival die, and that's what's happening. We've got to get attendance,
You gotta do it.
or we don't have food vendors, we don't have, nobody comes if there's not something that people want to be there for. And I really feel like we're having a concert that night, and it will kind of flow. It's a trial and error too.
Yeah.
If it's a flop and we have problems, well, then we won't do it next year.
Is the concert at the park?
No, the concert is back here on the grassy lot. And so
Oh.
the beer garden would be, what we were proposing right now, yes, would be back here, somewhere behind the fire station, that gravel lot, so it's in close proximity and it's not out on main streets.
And this is the park.
Yeah, I don't want to see the festival die either. But my concern is the whole area. If we could limit it to a smaller area, that might be something that more people would be comfortable with. But the whole area is, I don't know, and I know, we're diminishing with our population, and I don't know about the fall festival, if it's getting smaller or not, but it is family. And, having alcohol all over in a family atmosphere just doesn't sit well with me.
Me either.
But I wouldn't mind having it in a smaller contained area, even that whole place in back, the grassy lot and the whole thing. I was thinking the park, because it's a nice big area, but.
One comment on that, and a lot of this door is kind of more for convenience, because on Friday night, there was the beer and bingo last year, which is kind of down by the auto parks. On Saturday night, it's going to be a concert down there. It's not like there's multiple events where people are going to be walking back and forth between. Like, generally speaking, the beer and bingo Friday night, it's going to be on the south side. And I would say 95% of the people are going to kind of hover right around there. On Saturday night, it's going to be on the north side. So, yes, you might get 1 or 2 people who have a beer that are walking down to go see their kids, but it's not like you're having 2 spread events. They're going to have people going back and forth. I mean, generally speaking, it's going to be pretty well contained, but it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to make 2 separate doors, for one for this spot, one for this spot, where we said, if it's this whole downtown area, generally speaking, the alcohol is being served in one spot, the entertainment's going to be in that one spot. It's not like we're serving beer down at the rides and then everyone go see the concert over here. So, but if we make a one big area that can encompass what would happen Friday night and what would happen Saturday. Because I'm with you, I don't want to see a bunch of drunks walking through town.
I don't want to see anybody walking through town, spilling their drinks and stuff or whatever. You got kids in this area.
Yeah, I'm not a drinker, I don't drink beer at all, but.
What kind of message are we showing these kids?
It's true.
You can't have fun unless you're drinking. And this is a Christian community. I wouldn't agree with it.
I agree with that part, because it drives me crazy at the venue when parents bring their child up and say they want a kiddie cocktail. Tell them you want a glass of juice.
Yeah.
Don't call it a cocktail, don't think that drives me crazy. So I totally understand it, and the alcohol is probably the biggest struggle I have down there. So originally this Dora, I've known about Doras for a while, and a lot of the big festivals in the smaller towns, I know a lot of people back here was saying, what is that? So a Dora is a designated outdoor refreshment area. So like when you go to a lot of the festivals in Lafayette, because the festival goes down the street, people can get a drink and they can walk down the street with it. The other option is what's called a beer garden, where the whole area is fenced in, which is what we did last year. And it's fenced in and they can't step outside of that fenced in area with alcohol. The Dora was brought up last year because people didn't want to sit in the shelter at the park and drink a beer. They wanted to go walk around and look at cars with beers, and that's more of adult type activity and everything down there anyway. And then, from there it just kind of grew with the festival committee that it might be nice to have it downtown where the concert's going on and stuff like that. So, there's options with it. I agree that, sadly to say, our younger generations that everybody want their alcohol, not always in excess. They just want a glass of wine or a beer or something when they're doing it. And there's so many festivals that do that. But, so that's where it all stemmed from, whereas it all
So
started out with the
are
car
you
show.
going to provide the?
Yes. And we do have a 3-way liquor license with a traveling catering license, so we
What's a
can
okay,
take it anywhere.
What's a 3-way liquor license?
We can serve beer, wine, and alcohol, but up here it was going to be beer and wine only. I told the festival that bringing bottles of alcohol and stuff is just too much.
We didn't want to,
And that's,
Push it,
yeah. People behave themselves a little better, I think, on beer and wine than they do on hard liquor anyway.
So now there's already like police security at the festival. This will increase that, I assume? There will be more, or I don't know if
I
that's.
hadn't gone that far,
Okay.
but I guess if that's an avenue that we need to look down, we'll have to see what it costs to get additional.
How many is there normally? Do you know, Doug?
So it's usually me and Bob up till a certain time, and then I have open it up for outside agencies to come in and do an overnight shift, but they're mainly here for the festival itself, to keep an eye on the tenants, and at the time when the bar was open, to deal with any issues that arose out of there.
It would still end at 10 o'clock both Friday and Saturday would
So,
end at
I
10
mean,
a.m.
I would just,
And on
like we
Sunday,
do every year, I would ask that
Sunday.
we can bring in another person, at our part-time pay rate. And I could make that work. I mean, if that's something that you wanted more officers here.
Do you see it as a problem?
To be honest, no. And the beer garden last year, and even when we just had the beer garden, we didn't have any incidents,
So you said it would require an ordinance. Obviously, Justin's not here. I don't know if he's done anything like this. Is there a community that you've reached out to that would have an ordinance? I mean, this is without knowing. that
Right,
he's done it.
just that Kokomo is the one that I have the copy
Okay,
of.
okay.
But it was very easy to see what towns all have this door ordinance in
Okay.
place. It's just a couple clicks on the indiana.gov.
Okay.
And so there were much smaller towns that you'd be
Okay.
able to get something from that I think are probably only special events.
Okay.
What does One Mac have for their, they have a couple days where they have.
Do they?
Oh, yeah, they're, is it
I didn't
the
scroll
chili,
down.
or they do something.
And they're not fenced off.
No, they only do fenced off, they do individual permit block parties, those sort of things.
Yeah.
Automatic's not dove into the DORA, never had anyone request that thus far.
But today, because I talked to, because I was with my daughter, and she's a bartender, and so I didn't think she would know what Dora was, but she did, because they have it in Logansport. They have a cup that it's from 6th Street down to 3rd Street, and I forget how wide it is. But they can, anywhere, there's, I guess, designated bars where they are, businesses where they go in and get the cup and then walk around all downtown. So I was surprised that Logansport had that, but.
like she said, there's several communities that has it. It's not a bad thing, especially when you're designating it to a certain area. Obviously, you're not gonna have people walking around up to the gas station carrying beer. They're gonna be on Bill Street, so, for 2 months.
So
It's where they're supposed to be, I should put it that way.
so what's the consensus of the people here?
Well, you know what, when you stop and think about it, if somebody's got a cup and they're walking downtown at the festival, you have no idea what's in that cup.
That's what Becca told me.
Yeah.
And I
You're
don't
saying
think there were any
general?
problems last year for bingo.
You would
No,
have
there weren't any problems at all.
Right.
Yeah, and I think it
Yeah, it
was,
would be a designated
Yeah,
event.
so, we're gonna know what they have.
and it was a good moneymaker for the festival
It was.
last year.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, I think it's fine. We don't have a bar anymore, so it's not like they're gonna duck in there and then hit another spot, and then duck back in there and hit another spot.
You want to know, last year at the Potato Fest, people did that, and the bar told them that it was okay.
Yeah,
Because they had a
I
door.
know,
They
we
did
saw
not have
that.
a door in the building.
Yeah,
Thinking that bar could be shut down in Harvest.
Yes.
I don't go to jail for nobody, I'm just telling y'all that right now.
Yeah, but Sandy, it'd be 3 hots in the cot and you don't have to do anything.
I'm also very active and having to sit there, I would lose my mind.
I'm not sure they're all hot, though. I think the lunch is cold.
So, you know, the difference between the Dora and a beer garden is just the openness of a larger area, rather than like Nathan said, you know, they do one here and it's a specific, and it has to be fenced in.
And the ease of one and done, not
Yes.
having to do permitting every year.
For this area, and this area, and this area.
Do you think it would affect families?
I don't think so. I don't know why it would.
Maybe.
I personally don't like the idea. I think it needs to be a fenced off area. I mean, I got 5 kids. I mean, I drink. My friends drink. It's not about that. What it's about is showing your kids maybe what's more acceptable. Is it really acceptable just to be walking around in public drinking? Or can you go do that at your house around a campfire? Or do you always have to have that drink? It's like, I gotta have it. I don't like the idea. It screams un-kid friendly. And I think you're gonna lose, I know for a fact you'd lose some people that donate to the Fall Festival Committee. So I think you need to also think about that. You might make some people aggravated enough to lose future funds.
In response to that, there's nothing saying we can't put our own rules and saying you stay here. The idea is the permitting side of it, if we have a door in this whole general area. Like, we can still say, if the beer's here, we can still say, you need to keep it here. Like, there's nothing saying because there's a door, you can do whatever you want. We still can enforce our own rules. It's just for getting permits each time for a designated beer garden.
Cost to get permits?
50, it went up to 50 this year.
For every single event you do versus if you have this one time
Once
ordinance.
a year, $50.
No.
Times 3, we
one
got 3
and
events.
3.
Every
We have
week.
one on Friday, one on Saturday, and one on Sunday.
And times 3
Yeah,
for the spots.
So I thought it was just Friday and Saturday.
the car show on
Sunday,
Sunday.
they did the car show.
And that wouldn't be in town, that would only be at the park. So just because there's a door here, we can say, it's only, like, there will be no alcohol served on Sunday downtown, correct?
Right.
Just making sure, and so that won't be the
Well,
No, the car show back here, or, sorry, cornhole, sorry, not.
cornhole.
Cornhole.
Oh, so, but there's not, like, if the town wants to say, you know, we're fine with having a door up, but we want you to put some limitations on that, I don't see.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because we put a door here doesn't mean everyone's got a free reign of everything. We can still
Okay.
implement our own rules if you want to be more specific about this.
Okay. When do we have to make that decision?
Before September.
You know,
I mean, Justin isn't here
Just like 5, is it 5 days?
to obviously speak on the ordinance, but my guess is he works pretty quickly. If Jolyn were to give him a call tomorrow and at least look up an ordinance, that would definitely be done for the August meeting for us to pass. Well, do the first reading and then September would be passing it because we have to do 2 readings.
Is that-
However,
If we would do that, is that soon enough?
It is.
1st of September?
I just have to notify my excise officer within 5 days. Actually, I think it's only 24 hours of where I'm going to be with my permits. And I have the full alcohol license, or insurance and everything too.
so with that, you're wanting to designate the whole purple area downtown too. If we were to suggest maybe the Sunday or the day that it's going to be in the downtown area to block a section off, you'd be willing to do that?
Yeah.
Is what I'm, okay.
And the thing with the DORA is it's already in place and you can change that from year to year. You know, if next year you decide, you know what, the concert got out of hand, we're not doing the concert time. You can change that and say it's only going to be the bingo and the card show. It's a one and done, like they said, that covers the town.
So it covers the whole town?
Just a designated area.
Just a
That's what
designated.
gets, yeah, because you
So we
can,
did, like, if we did what is proposed there, and say next year the beer and bingo moves to a different location, it doesn't matter as long as it's within those, just in that purple area. Yeah.
So you guys gonna have insurance to cover somebody that got drunk here and went around and killed somebody?
There's insurance, yes.
What's your?
I have full, I'm not.
The festival.
Well, you never got it.
No, I think
If
it's,
somebody goes around and kills somebody.
Million per
He
incident.
means get drunk and drives home.
drives into somebody's home.
What's he left with it? What's he left with it?
Okay,
I think we should at least have him research it and come up with an example so we can make a decision, a wise decision.
Yeah. And you can, look. I mean, personally, I understand where they're coming from with wanting the door up. Personally, I like the idea of a beer garden where I can see that they're not getting a beer from me and then they're going home and pouring something in their Dora. Because you can't control that. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna try and sugarcoat it here. You know, people are gonna do what they're gonna do.
You're gonna walk one of the cups with, you don't know what's in there anyway.
Exactly.
that was.
It's happening day in, day out.
Yeah.
Also.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
But, I mean, that's what happens. It's been happening.
Well, I think we should still research it and have him.
but if you go to the Indiana Department and go to the alcohol tobacco site, you can see what towns have Doras. They have a map on there, they have all the details and everything on there, and, you know, wherever you need to get your information.
Okay.
If you need anything else, I can give you my executive officer's number, or, you know, anything that helps you decide what you want to do.
Okay. I say, Jolyn, if you'll contact Justin and have him look, okay.
Just to sign some things and get him, so he can be pretty quick on it, so.
But like Kay said, we don't know how much people are walking around with stuff every day anyway. And koozies, I hate koozies. I hate when brides and grooms give people koozies as a gift, because you can't see what, we don't serve cans, so you can't use koozies there. I've had some of the most Christian weddings that at the end of the day, you walk in the men's bathroom and you pull out the garbage can and it is just full of those little shooters, thank you.
Must have been a Catholic wedding.
Actually, it wasn't, it was a Baptist.
I have
Oh, yeah.
questions.
Do you have any more questions?
Nope, I don't have any more.
All right.
I guess we do, yes.
Joey's got one other thing, but.
All right, we're gonna move on. Fire department?
There's one other festival issue, if you don't mind.
Oh, yeah.
What, where?
Nancy just told me the meeting was tonight, it's like, oh. I mentioned to Joe Lynn, we're bringing the Tunnels to Tower, traveling 9/11 Memorial to the festival. It'll be set up, well, if everything goes right, it'll be set up on Montgomery Street in front of the bank. We're needing a letter of approval from the town because it'll be set on the road, saying we have permission to put this on the road, as well as a proof of insurance because it's the town's road. It's actually like a semi-trailer that's sort of like an RV style pull out. And so if we can get just a letter saying that's all right, which I hope it is, and just proof of insurance that there's insurance on that road.
Did you not get my email back with the?
I did not.
Okay.
You sent me one?
I sent it like a few weeks ago.
I don't
know. I can resend it because I saved it, so.
Yeah, I don't remember, but also I need a proof of insurance.
Okay.
I don't think they need to be named as like a certificate of insurance.
Do you have insurance on our streets?
Exactly, it doesn't make any sense. But you gotta realize this is New York City that's sending all these requirements. I've had to jump through about 1 million hoops for a semi-trailer to be parked on a road. Kind of dumb,
Huh.
but
And then this letter, does it have to be like,
is someone from the town signs it, it doesn't really matter. It's just
Okay.
their checkbox to file. It just says, provide the town approval letter and proof of insurance as the property owners of the venue. So, because I give them our proof of insurance as the festival, like, well, you don't own the road, so. So, but I think it's gonna be a really cool exhibit in town, and I'm looking forward to it.
It's called Tunnels to,
Tunnels to Tower. It's a pretty popular organization in New York. It was based upon a firefighter who, when got caught on 9/11, basically was finishing his shift, he started running back in, and they closed the roads down at the tunnels, and so he carried all his gear from the tunnels to the tower, and he perished that day, so this is a memorial about all of 9/11.
Oh, okay.
So it's a pretty well-known exhibit, we had to get on the list a while ago, it costs a pretty penny to get it here, but I think it'll be worth it.
Proof of insurance for the road,
No, not yet.
you might call them tomorrow.
Yeah, I figured you'd give me the letter, but I didn't know if I mentioned about the proof of insurance,
Yeah.
so I figured I'd just come here.
Well, and I talked to Lydia down at Goodwine, she said she sent you some sort of proof of something, so I didn't know if that was the same thing that you.
Because I had Goodwine just forward all of our insurance stuff to them, and they emailed me back saying, hey, we still need this. So
Okay, yeah,
I'm guessing they just sent the Fall Festival's insurance,
Okay.
not the town's.
okay.
So, thank you for your time.
Any motion on that, or
Do we need a motion?
I'm not sure if we do or not.
You can make one.
Okay, I move that we send the required documents to Joey
For the festival.
for the festival.
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carried. All right. Anything else? That's it? Fire department.
This last month, we had 11 total runs. We had 10 medical runs, 0 fires and 0 accidents. We had 1 false alarm. We just put on a new guy for volunteer. So he'll be on a 1-year probation. Joel Goodwine lives in town here.
Okay.
Then I think we got our meeting here right before this meeting was about a July 12th training that we're going to have for the solar companies, kind of like a mock disaster training. So that's that Saturday at about 10 o'clock, so we're going to go to that. And,
Who's putting that on?
the solar companies,
Where's that?
just pretty much down there.
We're gonna pick a spot in the solar field in our area, and then it'll be us and Buffalo coming together on one, and then the Marysville and Winnipeg coming together on one.
Is that the
Yes,
Tubman yard sale? is it?
correct.
Yeah, we didn't choose the name.
Yeah.
All right.
Was that young?
Anything else from fire?
Little
No, that's
young
it.
kid? How old is that kid that was here in the meeting? I'm just curious.
You want to know how old he is?
What kid?
That young.
Joel.
Oh,
Is it Joel?
Yeah, he just turned 18 a month and a half
Oh, he
ago.
looked young.
Looks at the patio.
What is it? Okay.
Please?
Revenue report for June 1st through the 30th. Total hours 107.5, hitting at 15.5. Traffic enforcement 57, stuff due to the new stop signs.
I was gonna say that's a lot.
Calls and service is 27. The only other issue that we had with, or other thing that happened was, Pickman and myself both completed our annual EVOC training with White County Sheriff's Department and Monticello Police Department at the White County Airport. We've had kind of mixed reviews on the stop signs, more good than bad. The flags helped get people to notice them. And we're noticing that they're not for them, they notice. Yeah, a lot of people telling themselves today.
Yeah, doesn't he live right by the another 4-way? You live right by the new 4-way? Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah. Well, the only complaints I've had are from my nephew and my son.
So,
My son wants me to restop him.
But other than that, no, I mean, everything's pretty much been good. I've had some people that think there should be, but they don't like change, so.
Well, I have noticed since I live on Bill Street, the speeding has really cut down. I think it has been good. And my neighbor thought so too. She thought it would cut down.
Anything else? Nope. All right. Street department?
I'm on vacation. All right. streets are pretty good.
There is much snow.
Not much snow.
Water, sewer, park?
Water, we kind of honored that earlier, where we're at with that project, and
Sewer.
water usage went way up in the last 7 days due to this heat.
Yeah.
It's pretty neat to watch.
Was the park left okay after the community day out there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Found extra bleachers for the park.
Yeah.
Anything for the sewer?
No, sewer at all. We've been in pretty good shape.
All right. Nothing else covered?
Oh, one thing on sewer is out at the ponds, the side banks are washing out just a little bit. So we got an estimate for some cheap rock from maybe one or two more, but in front of you is what they blasted out, keep the banks from washing out.
Have they still got the levels up, flayed up on
Yeah,
there?
the levels are going down.
Going down?
Yeah, we're probably 10 inches down from what we were 3 weeks ago.
All right. Clerk? Nothing? Any old business?
I know, Doug, you touched base last month about the homes in town, that you written some letters to. I didn't know how that went.
Some have responded and some have still not picked it up.
Okay.
Or at least I haven't got my slip back yet. My next thing, I did talk to the health department, and they are going to send a letter to a couple of them, or to one of them in general also, and she was going to contact the building department about that same residence due to the massive hole in it.
All right, anything else?
Old business.
I can talk.
Yeah.
What about abandoned cars? What is the policy on abandoned cars? Cars with flat tires with weeds up this high on both sides, no license plate on the back, and has been there like that for months.
And covered with a tarp.
And sitting on jack stands,
Yep,
transmission's laying out in the yard.
yep.
So I did tag a few cars. I don't know if you're talking about the ones over on
Pardon me?
James Street.
Corner of Brooks and James.
Yes.
Brooks and Chase.
Yeah, so I did tag that car. They have to sit on the property for 30 days before I can tag them. And once they're tagged, then it's a 72-hour tag. However, I thought they had a plate in the back window of the one now. But I don't know where the one with the jack is that you're talking about.
Well, he's talking about that one. Two of them to the east of the property. I mean, it's along the road up by the property, but the two sitting farthest to the east.
Okay.
And then Salem Street. There's 7 there, all the time.
Most of them have plates. I doubt if the one on jack stands has got a plate.
Can you get down where that location is? I've got to go on emergency.
Without a bed on it.
Where was that other one at? Salem?
I'll get it once you give him the ordinance.
Where's the jack stand one? Where's the jack stand one at?
In the driveway down there.
Dick Kitty used to them.
Oh, okay. That's
Where's by
Salem.
Circle Drive?
East. On Salem?
Where Craig's used to live.
Been
Years
there
ago.
a year.
It's been a lot longer than that.
Well,
It's went through one tarp and they've replaced the tarp
I
once.
was being.
I'll give it tarps.
Where's that at?
Then the pickup's sitting right in front of it, then you have a bed on it, so I doubt if it's got a plate on the back.
Salem.
It hasn't been moved in probably
That's
a year.
in the same property as the other car?
Mhm.
Okay.
What is that? Is that one house north of where Patty lives?
Mhm.
Patty Knievel?
North.
Oh, okay, now I know what you're talking.
Yeah,
They walk a couple dogs all the time?
all the time.
Got it.
And they got that, did they get a permit for their fence in the front yard?
Then they got
Is that where Craig's used to live?
It's where Dick Titi lived years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think after Dick lived there, then
Yeah.
Mandy Timmons bought it, and that's her son. who lives
And they get
there.
some of that, I don't know how many people live there.
I don't either. But those cars never leave.
At times, there's 9 cars sitting there.
Yeah, yeah, it's between 7 and 8. Yeah.
Yeah, that one down there that's got the 5 or 6 set in front.
That's Dick T's old house.
No, this is
That's what
on,
you remember.
no, this is on the corner of Yellow and,
See, I don't know.
We're getting out
Catty
of
corner from the Baptist church.
yeah, Plummer, is that Plummer?
Oh,
There's that
yes,
one there that don't have
yes.
plates on them.
That's the one I was thinking of.
Okay, either way, we will get at least a general location. I know Doug knows of 2 of them.
Right.
I know these two.
All you have to do is drive around.
Yeah, so he will,
The one there, Catty corner from the Baptist church, is one truck here is toasted,
okay.
sitting out there with a tarp over it. It's been-
And if, I think most of those are backed in, so if you want to see if they're plated.
The ones behind all you had to drive by, there's no plates on there.
All right, we'll get him on that. All right, any other new business?
Did we do
I have-
all
No,
that?
the one that
I
you
don't
got was that one.
I have a couple. Are you ready?
Yeah,
Good, Tom, here we go. We talked about alleys and seeing, some that, so, because I like to go down the alleys. How many alleys can I tell you about and how much, how often?
That means
Is
what?
That need to be, have.
Gravel?
Gravel in it or something, because great huge potholes. The alley that's by that lady right there, the yellow, we're not supposed to say names.
Oh, sorry.
So I'm just saying that
Okay.
that alley by her it's got really big holes. And that's the one I've gotten so far, but I'll get more. If you tell me how many I can tell you.
But
One at a time.
fixed, we would do 1, 2, 3 so far.
You would do 3?
I've
No,
done
you've
3,
been
yes.
fixed.
Oh, you've done 3.
Yeah.
So how many more can I tell you about?
Don't worry about them, nobody needs to go down the alley anyway.
We've been doing the high traffic alleys.
If you would print that list, that would be huge help.
Okay, I can do that. And you just want it from street to street? The alley, from this street to that street?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
That'd probably be easier.
Okay. Now, I've got 2 more, just 2 more is all. I had, when we had the siren go off this last time for the tornado, on the west side, they couldn't hear it. Is there any way that we can have another siren here and then maybe on the west side too, or
You
is that?
can't hear it?
I happened to hear that because I was opening up my patio door curtains.
You can't hear it in your home now.
Yeah,
And you're all-
and that was somebody on your street that told me they couldn't hear
Yeah,
it.
we can't hear it,
Yeah,
especially if the wind's from the south,
yeah.
but I
So
can't hear it in my house.
Susie, this is not the only community where this is an issue. Monterey has had this problem too, where their fire station is on the far east side of
Yeah.
town and people on the west side of town.
Well,
I've
so-
talked to the sheriff's office a little bit about it, they've looked into it. I know in that case, they've got financial limitations on repairing or upgrading it that you might not have here, but I would be in contact with the sheriff's office.
We
before-
can't do it ourselves as a town?
I don't know, I just know because sheriff's office runs all of those tests, you might at least want to be in the loop with them about the issue.
Is it the sheriff or is it?
Usually the storms to Winnebago before they.
Rochelle's back to dispatch.
all right.
We got a price, and I don't know what it was, it was a lot
Ridiculous.
for a siren,
Oh, really?
yes. There's a bolt put in place for one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know if we have to foot the bill or not, but if it would save lives, how much is a life worth? I mean,
Or if it looks bad out, listen for the siren.
open your window.
Open the patio door, look out the window and watch, see where it's coming. I'm a big, I go to the basement. I know.
As a firefighter, though,
You got trouble.
when we go on as a firefighter, when we go on a weather call, when the siren goes off, that's when people come to the porch to see what's going on. They're safe, the siren does not go off.
That's an Indiana thing, though.
So it could actually, you brought up EMA, it might be worth talking to Rochelle, especially if there are multiple committees.
Okay.
If we could at least look into whether there are any grant programs for public safety that might work.
We'll do that.
2 miles from the fire station.
I got
You remember that?
dogs from what I can hear.
Goes to show your hearing's bad.
I can hear it all the time, and it's, what they're testing it is very annoying. But
Centrally located.
We're starting to cause all the problems on the roof up here. The siren didn't go off until 30 minutes after that went through. So,
I gotta say, normally, the storms in Winnemac before the blow our siren.
yeah.
That's the way it works.
Who blows our siren?
Sheriff's Department.
is it sheriff's department or is
The
it?
storm's through, it's cleared off, the sun's
I
shining.
think it's
then they blow the siren.
The Sheriff's Department.
Okay.
We
Because I
put that
thought she
off
was in
that
charge of
clear
it, she told
separate.
them what to do. She
Well,
doesn't?
then you can go out and
I don't know, her job is
see.
24/7, dispatch is manned 24/7.
Okay. All right.
EMA is supposed to control.
That's what I,
She makes the first call, or
That's
can
what I
make the first
thought,
call,
yeah.
but, you know, as, she may be out of town that day or whatever, you don't know. Also, the fire chief from each community
can do it.
can radio it in.
So are you the chief?
Unfortunately.
You're the chief. So what's AJ?
He is president.
Okay.
And that's a, yes, something else.
She's.
Everybody's in office. Everybody's in office.
Buzz in charge on the fire scene, AJ's in charge on the business side.
Okay, okay. Jared, you mean?
That's right. Jared and Albert.
Okay,
All
I have one more.
Okay.
I have, and I've noticed too, but people have been telling me that there are a lot of unlicensed drivers driving golf carts around. And I thought it might be a good idea for us to maybe put it on our Facebook again or someplace to remind people that only licensed drivers can be driving golf carts.
I'm gonna take care of that.
My
You
nephew,
can post the ordinance again.
my nephew has almost hit a couple of them with his semi coming through. I'm not sure if it's his fault. No. But they're not doing anything, so. So I asked, and he's not here, I asked Doug about that, and he says, if we see it, we should call, not the 911, but the other non-emergency sheriff's department, and let them know that's happening, and then they can let him know, or they can send somebody over. Because the kids need to realize, and the parents need to realize, that that's not acceptable.
But you do realize by the time all those calls go through and they get
I know.
over here, the kid is still not gonna be driving the golf cart.
Well, maybe.
So there's a report of an older woman driving up and down the alleys too.
Yeah.
I already said older, although I'm right there. But you would not, it's very
I
enjoyable.
never mentioned any names.
I know, but it's very enjoyable to see the back of houses. It really is, to see, it's really
I might be out
enjoyable.
there
That's called
someday.
voyeurism.
Oh,
Yeah.
voyeurism, it is not.
That's what it is.
Depends on what you see.
They've been on the walking path at the park too, and I didn't think they were supposed to be on there.
Right.
I don't know about that.
I've literally been on that walk and all, here comes the golf cart, and you have to step off to the side in order for them to glide.
Yeah, and is it kids?
No.
It's probably recommended that you get out of the way.
What, too?
When it blacked out on my street, I drove down.
Okay.
Well, now I'm done, Tom.
You sure?
Yes, I am
I
sure.
got two things. They're very quick. It was brought up in the meeting about the sweeping of downtown roads, especially since it does storm and the fall festival coming up. Does the town do that anymore?
We don't have any equipment to do it, and I don't think Winnemac does anymore, do they?
You got a room?
That's the plan.
They did it last year. They did it
I
last year.
know we've talked about buying equipment for that, but that's, in the future, that's not now.
Not in this year's budget.
No.
Okay.
Who did it last year? Wasn't it done?
It was by hand.
It was by hand?
It's done by hand.
2 years ago, the festival hired, we basically hauled Winnemax equipment over and paid their employee to sweep them before and afterwards.
Do you know the cost of that?
It was pretty minimal. It was,
Because
A
they own
reasonable
that,
hourly
correct?
rate.
They
Yeah,
own
they own
that,
it.
yeah.
But they don't have it anymore, Tom? Is that what you said?
No,
We didn't have access to that.
Our trailer that hauled it last year was being serviced at the time, so we couldn't haul it, and we couldn't find anyone else to donate their time to go haul it.
is that something that would be possible to do between now and September?
What would happen if the festival decides to do it again is we would just do it the week of. We'd
Okay.
bring it over on like a Wednesday or Thursday, they sweep it, and then sweep it on Sunday, and then we take it back on Monday.
That way it cleans all the beer off the sidewalks.
We have been looking into pricing though, so.
Are they super expensive?
Well, if you buy a big drivable unit, yes. We're trying to get one that goes on the front of the tractor.
Why not the old pull type van?
It fell in half.
Yeah. You know why? Because it got old.
That's why it was given to them anyway.
Yeah.
It's open market.
And the last thing I had is the walking trail at the park. Some people mentioned it's getting a little bumpy, a little rough as far as from the restrooms to the shelter house, and especially from the shelter house to the actual walking trail. There's some people with walkers and wheelchairs and stuff. And I went and looked at it, it's pretty rough. So does that ever get, not be paid to the pasture or anything? I don't know what the options are.
Is it blacktop or is it cement?
This black.
We just had it resurfaced last year, but technically all needs replaced in the future. Definitely.
And how much is that a lot of money?
Did they do the trail out to the?
Yeah, they
restroom?
resurfaced the
I
the
know they
whole
did.
parking lot and then the walking trail, but I don't believe they did.
The one,
That's a sidewalk. From the parking lot
The
to the
transition from the
bathrooms.
sidewalk to the.
Oh, that's what he means, okay, okay,
It's probably like 40, 50 feet.
okay, okay.
Is that something that could be patched that we could do or relatively inexpensively? No?
No.
The best bet would be to maybe put it in for next year with the roads.
Yeah.
We did it once over.
Mhm.
And then do that whole parking lot?
Yeah. Whole parking lot, tennis court, basketball court.
You'd have to know it out.
Trail. Wouldn't hurt to read that trail's been in there for a long time.
There was a person interested in helping with that. Also, the tennis court.
Still,
What's the overall cost?
they would still be interested, you're
I
saying?
don't know what to ask.
Okay.
That was it.
The company, not the person.
Okay.
somebody with a big flag.
All right. Does the board have an opportunity to
Wait, I had something. I forgot we were moving on. It's really just to notify everybody about town-wide yard sales that is happening July 12th. That's all.
Okay, anything else?
I had no other comments or additions.
All right, the board had an opportunity to review claims.
Yes.
Yes, I will make a motion, we accept claims as presented.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Passed. Any additional comments or additions to the meeting?
I have none.
All right,
I move-
motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn this meeting.
I will second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Time is 7:35 PM.